All right. Now we have done till here, right? Which is we have worked till completion date. Okay. Now we'll go to extracting the enrollment number. So I'll just say extract the enrollment number. So I'll just say enrollment info, and we're going to get this from design module. So I'll just say design module dot get, and I'll just put here enrollment info, okay, else an empty dictionary, and then I'll say enrollment equals to enrollment info dot get, you get the count, or just revert with 0, and then let us put an exception block, this enrollment, okay, convert this into integer, okay, and accept, okay, either the value error or type error, okay, else like enrollment equals to 0, then just raise this particular error, right? So sometimes count, okay, if you see here when we are getting the count as a number of enrollment, this can come back as a string, okay, which means you can expect, let's say the number written as 1200 inside the double quotes. So instead of a number, we convert it into integer, right? All right. So yeah, and then what we're going to do is we are going to extract the protocol amendments. Okay. So I'm going to say firstly annotations. I'm from raw dictionary, or raw as in the raw data that we fetch from this thing. I'm going to get the annotation section. If nothing, then just an empty dictionary, then an amendment module. I'm going to say annotations dot get and annotation module, else I'm just going to put an empty dictionary and amendments, okay. I'm going to say amendment module. From this you get the unposted annotation, okay. I'm going to say I get the unposted annotation, else an empty dictionary, okay. And then I'm going to say protocol amendments, I'm going to put this as empty list, okay. And then in case if amendments, then extract, then take the protocol amendments, okay, and I'm just going to define them as, sorry, not this way, okay. I'm going to extract the date. So from amendments, I'm going to get the unposted responsible. Now please note, these things are very subjective to the API that we are working with. These are not some random Python classes or something. We're just trying to, from this dictionary, we're trying to get this else null, and that is how we extract the date, okay. Just try to understand the logic, that's all. Don't depend very heavily on what is this, what is that. Just try to understand what we are getting, or rather what we are extracting, that's all. If you are able to understand that, you are good to go, okay. The rest of the things you can just easily generate with Cloud Code or something like that, so don't have to really worry. Try to understand the logic, okay. Now the amendment data in the API is structured inconsistently, okay, across multiple APIs, okay. Not across multiple APIs, across multiple research study, the data is always structured inconsistently, right? So we capture whatever is available in the simple form, so our agents can reason, okay. So now I'll just say what do I want to return. So in parse study, I want to return, I have already written this particular block, I'll just copy paste, yeah. So these are the things that I want to return, okay. From parse study, I want to return NCD ID, title, sponsor, phase, status, conditions, interventions, all of these things I want to return them, okay. Now thing is, pedantic checks every field here okay, and matches the type that we declared in the parsed study above. Okay, here parsed study, whatever we have defined in above class, it is going to check all of them. Okay, and if something is wrong, then Pedantic is going to raise an error, as simple as that. Okay, and then I'm just going to put an exception. Yeah, just a minute. Except exception as E. Okay, and if there is any unexpected error, so I'll just say NCT ID equals to raw dot get protocol section. Okay, okay, and I'll say dot get again. Just a minute, something is off here. Yeah, dot get. Okay, and I'll say identification module else an empty list. Okay, dot get, okay, NCT ID else unknown. Okay, yeah, this looks fine, and then I'll just say logger dot error. Okay, I'll just say failed to parse the study that we extracted for which NCT ID, for this particular NCT ID, and this is the error that we are getting. Okay, so I think this looks fine as of now. Yeah, this should be NCT ID. Okay, all right, this is fine as of now. Okay, and then finally, what do we return? We return none. Okay, and then we're going to parse. See, we have parsed one study, right? So now what we do is we parse many studies at once. Okay, so I'm going to create a function called as parse studies. Okay, takes in self, takes in raw studies. Okay, just a minute, this should be not a part of this. Yeah, all right. Raw studies is going to be a list of dictionaries. Okay, so it's going to be what? It's going to be a list of dictionary of string and any. Yeah, so this should be a dictionary of string and any. Yeah, and yeah, and what does it return? It returns a list of parsed study. Okay, so this basically what it does is basically it parses the whole list of raw studies in one call, parses the list of or rather the whole list of raw studies in one call. That is what it does. Okay, and any study that fails to be parsed is skipped. Okay, so I'll just say parsed equals to empty as of now. As of now, nothing has failed, so 0. And then we're just going to iterate. So for raw in raw studies, okay, firstly we'll extract so self dot parse study on raw. Okay, and if study, then I'm going to just append this to the empty list. Okay, else I'm just going to say failed. We just increment the failed, yeah, as in like one more study has failed. Okay, so this looks fine, and we'll just log it. Okay, so I'll just say logger dot info. Yeah, sorry, I'll just say logger dot info, and I'll say parsed studies. Okay, success equals to the len of parsed. Yeah, and how many are failed? So यहाँ पे failed, and so it will just give us an exact idea how many of them are passed, how many of them are failed, total, all of that. Okay, length of raw studies. Yeah, looks fantastic. Yeah, and we're just going to return the passed version. Yeah, all right. So this is going to return the parsed studies. Okay, and then one final function I have already added it. I'll just fetch it from here. Okay, all right, and this function, okay, where is it? Yeah, just a minute. Yeah, now here towards the end, what we're going to do is we're just going to parse one paper. So I'm going to create a method called as parse paper. Okay, takes in the raw studies and gives an updated parse paper. So it cleans one raw PubMed, whatever PubMed paper you're going to get, it is going to clean it. Okay, and PubMed papers are simpler than studies. Okay, now the thing is, your PubMed client.py file already has flattened the XML. If you can recall, we had done parsed XML response, right? We have already done that, and now we have a clean dictionary. So this method does the final cleanup. Okay, so you can see it is going to extract the abstract from the paper. Then it is going to look at the word count. Okay, and then it is finally going to return all of these cleaned version, publication date, authors, all of that. If nothing, then it is going to catch the exceptions. How do you parse multiple papers at once? This is just the another same logic that we have written for parse studies. Yeah, so just go through this. It's the same version. Instead of just parse study, we have written parse paper. That's all, and that is what creates your final version of document parser, which is going to work with research studies as well as research papers, and it is going to work on the complex nested API outputs or API responses. Yes, let's proceed with the next part.